guys, it's your boy Evan, and you know I'm always up to no good. So today I actually got a little box here. We're actually going to be doing a little more maintenance to the truck just to make sure everything's up to par, everything's running good and nice and smooth. So we got a box of spark plugs here. Now the truck does take about 16 spark plugs. I know that is crazy. So it takes about 2 per cylinder. So you got 16 in total. We're going to go ahead and just swap them out. I know the truck has been very well taken care of by the owner and by the dealership that it used to be serviced at. But just to be a little more cautious, because you never know, some of these dealerships don't exactly, take care of the cars as they're supposed to. So being that I am a car guy and I love working on cars myself, I just want to go ahead and make sure that the plugs are actually in good condition, and also put in some new fresh spark plugs. So let's get to it. I'm gonna show you guys how I do it, so let's get to it.
All right, guys, over here at the truck, hopefully you guys can see, we're gonna go ahead and remove the Hemi, I guess you could call them covers to the ignition, to the coil pack, in other words. So we're gonna go ahead and remove them without damaging anything. Oh man, let's see if I could remove it without causing damage or any breakage to the plastic parts. Okay, we look okay. Okay. All right, next thing we're gonna do is carefully remove the connectors to the coil packs. I gotta figure out how I remove it. I don't want to break anything. Oh, you gotta squeeze the tab in. So squeeze the tab, remove it. Squeeze the tab, remove it. Gotta be careful I don't break anything. Squeeze the tab and remove. Oh man, the last one's giving me a hard time. Come on, baby, you gotta come off. Oh boy. Stubborn little sucker. Okay, got it off. All right, guys, so we're gonna grab the 10mm socket and we're gonna gently break the bolts of the coil packs loose. Okay. Let's break this. That's loose. That's loose. And that's loose. Okay. All right, guys, so I went ahead and I removed the bolts. So it's a 10mm. you may need a shorter socket or longer socket depending on the location of these bolts. So, you know, in tighter areas you may need a shorter one, in the back you may need a longer one, so it all depends. So you'll know exactly what to use. So we're gonna go ahead and remove all of these coil packs. So I already removed all the bolts, so we don't have to remove them. So I'm gonna remove them one by one, nice and slow, making okay. Okay. That's the last one. Okay. Okay, removing the second one. I'll leave it up here. Moving the third one. We'll leave it up there. And then we'll remove the last one. Just nice and slowly wiggle it back and out. Just making sure you do not break anything. Very, very cautious. And then we'll leave that sucker there. So all four of them are out. I don't think these can come apart. Or maybe they do come out. You can actually take them apart later and maybe clean them. So we're gonna grab spark plug socket, a wrench, long extension, and remove them. So let me grab it. All right, guys. So I got a nice 5/8 Husky spark plug socket. We're gonna go ahead and remove it. Let's see if I can fit it in. Actually, I might need a swivel. There we go. So let's go ahead and slowly remove the back one. Okay, so let me see if I can. Okay. Okay. All right, so I had to grab a different ratchet. This ratchet obviously doesn't work, so it would get stuck in the opposite direction. So you go to turn it and it locks itself out. So no good. So I got to replace it. So I gotta grab a replacement or another one I have in the garage. So I already broke the one spark plug loose. We're gonna go ahead and remove it. Look at the plugs to see how they look. We'll be able to know exactly how the motor is actually doing, if it's burning too much oil, if it's burning too much gas, dumping too much gas, or whatever the case may be. There we go. Yeah, they don't look too good. So here's the plug. If I'm not mistaken, I believe, I'm not 100% sure, obviously I need to read up, but I think just judging from it, looks like it might be burning fuel, a lot of fuel. But yeah. So yeah, NGK looks to be okay. I don't think they're too bad, but I'm gonna change them anyways just to make sure the truck runs perfectly fine. So yeah, let's remove them and go from there.
The other side, basically what happened was removed all the plugs, checked them. It actually looked like it was burning the plug as it normally would, so there was no issues on the plug. Obviously the threads on the plugs were dirty. Obviously, as every car, when you put a plug in, the plugs will get dirty on the thread, so that's normal, dirt that you will see on a plug. But other than that, the plugs look pretty okay. So I put in the new plugs, put a little bit of anti-seize, even though you're not supposed to, because they come with a coating of anti-seize on the plugs. So I'll put them in. I didn't hand tighten them. I just hand tightened them, yeah, but I didn't actually use a swivel ratchet. So I'm gonna do that last. I'm gonna do this side, and then get the coil packs put in. Put a little bit of the electrical grease in the boots, not too much, and then tighten everything down, and we should be done. And fire the truck up and see how it runs. Alright guys, so as you guys can see, I got the big light. It's not the big light, but I got a brighter light so you guys can see. I know it's dark, and I usually start a little bit late in the day because I'm so caught up with things. It does get dark easily here where I live, so that's another reason. So trying my best.
Alright guys, so I ended up putting all the plugs in. Gotta tighten down by hand these two plugs that are left here, spark plugs, and then we're gonna pretty much put the coil packs back on, put the I guess cover on top of the plugs, whatever that's called, and fire it up and see how it goes. So we're almost done. We're just gonna take our time and finish. No rush. Alright guys, so I got the bolts here nice and clean with the wire machine or wire brush machine, whatever you want to call it. Put them in. We're going to tighten them down hand, and then we're going to just clip in the electrical connectors for each and every one of the of the spark plug coils, and then
should be good to go on the other side, do the same thing, and then we should be able to fire the car up, see if how everything's running, and go from there. What's going on, guys? So as you guys can see, I just finished putting in the spark plugs, brand new spark plugs. The other ones actually were pretty much, full of dirt. They were obviously pretty much worn out. So decided to put some new fresh plugs in and make sure there's a good quality of spark. It's getting the right air fuel mixture with the O2 sensors that I changed in the previous video. So now the air fuel ratio should be on point. Put a little bit of anti-seize on the new plugs. You don't have to. It has anti-corrosion and anti-seize components on it, so you're pretty much okay. You don't have to put. I just did, just as a precautionary measure, put a little bit of electrical grease in the boot just to make sure it seals and there's nothing that can go into the boot, water, whatever, condensation. And that was pretty much it. Now I'm gonna just throw on the 6.1 Hemi covers, start it up, see how it feels, how it rides. Hopefully there's no check engine light, stuff like that. Just gonna test it out. And that's pretty much it. I got more videos on the way, guys, so definitely stay tuned. And with that being said, guys, I'll definitely be catching you guys in the next video.